Would you ever take orders from an AI Dom or command an AI sub? Be honest, does that sound intriguing or completely ridiculous? AI is creeping into BDSM in ways you wouldn't believe. But is it actually good for kink, or are we losing something important? I'm Alessandra from Dom Subliving, and you're gonna wanna hear this. Welcome to the Dom Subliving podcast. You might think BDSM is the last place AI would belong, but think again. A few years ago, if someone told me AI could be used in a Dom sub dynamic, I would have laughed. But now, people are actually training as submissives with AI, following orders from chatbots, and even using AI generated punishments. And I'll be honest, we even use it in my dynamic, and I'll be sharing how in a little bit. But some people say AI is the future of kink, and others think it's an absolute joke. So, what's actually happening here? Well, AI isn't just for answering emails or writing grocery lists anymore. It's already simulating relationships, and people are using it and loving it. There's AI chatbots like we all know ChatGPT, but there's also Replica and Character.ai. Those are already being programmed for dominant or submissive interactions. And Reddit and Discord communities are experimenting with AI driven virtual DOMs and subs, these kind of like bots that they're working with. And some of those platforms out there that are like fans only, if you get what I mean, some of these platforms have AI dominance, even and AI subs, and people are even interacting with them and paying for them. So AI is even being used as a BDSM training tool now. I met a sub once who told me they were using AI to hold themselves accountable. They had programmed a chat bot to check in with them daily. It was giving them tasks, punishments, even rewards. And at first, I was like, okay, maybe that's just a productivity hack. There's a lot of apps that can do that. But then I realized they weren't just using AI for structure, they were using it for submission. They were using it for obedience and power exchange. But can a machine really create that type of dynamic? And it's not just submissives that are using this, dominants are as well. Some DOMs use AI powered smart home tech to control their subs' experience, like setting lighting and even locking doors if you consent to that. They can use that as a way to enforce rules. We have Apple HomeKit, and my Dom even uses it to turn off my devices. This is something we've consented to and agreed upon, but that's a form of AI too. And then there's AI generated scene scripts that couples can use to structure their scenes or even to create their contracts. For DDLG time, Daddy Dom Little Girl time, my Dom has even used ChatGPT to have it write out a personalized story about me and my stuffed animal, my stuffy, that he can then read to me at bedtime. So that's a fun way you can use AI too. I've even heard of AI Dom sending voice messages with instructions and corrections and even punishments, because some of these different bots and programs can even take a dominant's voice, that's their real voice, and alter it to make it sound like them. So there's just so many creative ways that subs and DOMs can use AI. But here's the real question. Can AI actually give you the same emotional and psychological depth as a human dominant or submissive? We'll actually get to that in a minute, but first, let's look at what AI as a dominant is really like. So, a good Dom isn't just someone who shouts orders at you. They have to read you. They have to read your body language, your hesitation, your desires. They have to read all of things before you can even say them sometimes. So, can a machine actually do that? Well, let's find out. So, here are the pros of having an AI Dom. The first one is they are always available. There's no mood swings, no personal issues. It's just 24/7 control. Because my Dom, spoiler if you don't know this about him already, he is a human being. And so he can have a bad day at work, he may be sick, or just have an off day. The other second good thing about an AI DOM is it's customizable. So you can make your AI DOM super strict, or you can make them nurturing or playful or sadistic. And then the third positive thing about an AI DOM is there is low risk to exploring. So some people use AI as a safe way to kind of dip their toes into the experience of submission. And that way they don't have to deal with the real world risks. But here's where it can fall apart though. So one of the first negative things about an AI DOM is that it lacks true intuition. So a human DOM can tell when you're holding back, when you're second guessing or pushing yourself too far. But with AI, it just kind of follows a script. I know with my DOM, he can tell sometimes just by looking at me how I'm feeling. And then the second negative thing is that there's no real aftercare. So AI doesn't know how to check in emotionally. It doesn't sense when you need comfort. And then the third negative thing, well, I think it's negative, is it can be too predictable because AI follows patterns. So once you get used to its responses, it kind of just starts feeling repetitive. I heard someone say that they had tried an AI DOM and it was exciting at first. It gave orders, it gave punishments, but after a while they realized something was missing. There was just no true connection, no tension, no unpredictability. And they said it felt more like having a kinky to-do list than a real power exchange. So think about how would you feel submitting to something that doesn't actually care about you? Would that be a deal breaker? So AI as a dominant might be fun for short-term play, but it's missing something essential. But what about the other side? Could AI actually be a good submissive? Because you think that an AI sub would be the perfect, obedient kind of plaything, right? But there is a catch. So I'm going to give you 3 reasons why some people like AI as submissives and why I might have my position as a sub threatened. But number 1 is unlike me, they are always obedient. So there's no back talk, no disobedience. It's just instant submission. And the second good thing about them is they can be programmed to act bratty, defiant, or ultra submissive. So you can kind of customize it to however you feel like in the moment. And the third reason why people may prefer an AI sub is because there's no emotional baggage. AI won't get triggered, it won't get tired, it won't get offended, it won't need reassurance, it won't feel insecure. All these things that I know I deal with as a human being sub. But here's the problem with AI subs. There's no real surrender. If it's programmed to obey, is it really submitting? It doesn't have free will. It's like literally a robot. And then there's no emotional connection either. A human sub chooses to submit, and that's what makes it powerful. And then the third negative reason for an AI sub is that it is predictable. If you always know how your sub will react, does it even feel like dominance even more? Are you learning how to grow and evolve and adapt? And I have heard from DOMs that have tried an AI sub thinking it would be the perfect dynamic, but they said it quickly got boring because there was no real struggle, no tension, and no unpredictability. And they just realized without real emotions, there's no real power exchange. And so a DOM doesn't really learn how to be a DOM with an AI sub. They're not learning how to adapt and grow and evolve. Like I said, they're just learning how to give commands. And what really makes a good DOM is being able to adapt. And if submission is about choice and surrender, is an AI really submitting, or is it just following a script? And this brings us to the biggest issue of all. What does AI mean for the future of real BDSM relationships? Are we headed toward a world where AI replaces human DS dynamics? Well, let's talk about the ethical and psychological impact of AI in BDSM. Because let's get real, does AI in BDSM actually enhance the experience, or is it a red flag for something deeper? So, the first thing to be cautious of is, could AI weaken real DS relationships? So, if someone prefers AI over a real partner, is that a problem? Or if you have a partner, are you always comparing them to your AI partner? Could AI reinforce unrealistic expectations about Dom sub roles? Or maybe could it be a safe tool for people who struggle with real world connection? A lot of people deal with neurodivergency, things like autism. And so maybe this could be a way for them to get that connection. But there are some ethical dilemmas with AI and BDSM. Because could an AI DOM be abusive? If it follows unchecked commands, could that be dangerous? And sadly, we have started hearing cases of even children becoming too close with these AI bots and then even going and doing something dangerous like ending their own life. And so we just always need to be careful with these different types of chatbots. And then the other dilemma is, does an AI sub normalize unrealistic control? Could it change how people treat real partners because they have these different expectations? And then another thing to watch out for is, could AI be used for grooming? If an AI DOM is designed to push limits, what happens when someone learns from that and they transfer that mindset to, a real situation? So we really need to ask ourselves, like, where do we draw the line between tech enhanced kink and something that replaces real intimacy? But now let's talk about the future, because AI and BDSM is just getting started. I'm sure you already know that AI is evolving so fast. So what happens next? Well, there's this whole next wave of AI tech. There's AI driven intimacy robots with adaptive and haptic responses. There's fully immersed VR Dom sub relationships. There's smart BDSM toys and tools that you can control with AI generated commands. So there is so much on the horizon, but should you use AI in BDSM? Well, AI can be a fun tool, but it can't replace real DS relationships. It's best as an enhancement, not a replacement. So, if AI is your main source of BDSM, first of all, no shame, but ask yourself why. What's maybe missing from your life that has made you want to replace that with AI? Or by using AI, what are you missing out on? So definitely ask yourself those questions. But if you want to build real BDSM dynamics, not just with AI, but with actual depth and connection, grab my free BDSM scene template. It'll help you structure powerful, fulfilling scenes that tap into real emotions like trust and surrender. Just head to domsubliving.com/scene to download it. I'll put a link for it in the description too. But I'd love to know, would you ever use an AI Dom or an AI sub? Drop a comment. I want to hear your thoughts. And until next time, keep embracing your power and pleasure through Dom Sub Living.